Hey up everyone and welcome to Political Nerds and a very, very important Red Alert broadcast. Of course, before we jump into this, the usual disclaimers. Do your research, come to your own conclusions, and I'm not inciting hatred to anyone or a particular group, religion, etc. We are here today to talk about Starmer's push to introduce digital IDs into this country. Now, before I go any further, hang on a minute, is as if I've never streamed before, guys. Give me one moment. Here we go. Ta-da! There we go. The power of technology, guys. Within the last half hour, thank you so much to Josiah Wattam on X at Josiah1956 for sending me this. Apparently there's an emergency protest Monday the 6th of October, 6 p.m. Downing Street. You've got Turning Point UK is going to be there, UKIP's going to be there, Together for the Children are going to be there. A whole load of organisations, it looks like, is going to be there. And so I'm going to see if I can make my way down there for you guys and report on the ground exactly what is going on during this protest. So if you don't want to miss that or any other content that I'm giving you here on Political Nerds, then do make sure, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel straight away. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Steph Alternerd and all that good stuff. But let me give you a little bit of a rundown, guys, as to what we're going to look at for today's Red Alert broadcast for Friday, the 26th of September, 2025. First and foremost, yeah, Starmer's all about digital ID being the best thing since sliced bread. But guess what? He's just proven to be a hypocrite. There is a tweet that has just been unearthed from 5 years ago. Oh, you think it ain't got any worse for Starmer? Think again. So we're going to get into that first. Then we're going to get into what action is being taken to actually stop this, becoming essentially, as far as I'm concerned, a communist Western version of China state. We're going to get into that. Then halfway through, you will not believe who is opposing this. There are politicians that are opposing this, that any other day during the week, generally speaking, I disagree with them. But oh my goodness, hell has officially frozen over, you guys. You will not believe who has spoken out against this. So we're going to go through all that. Then stay tuned for the fourth section of this Red Alert broadcast, because she's the freaking bed. You think the introduction of digital ID sends shivers up and down your spine? You know nothing yet. It has been unearthed who is actually behind this. And let me put it this way to you guys. It is linked to a video I released the last 24, 48 hours. Remember how Starmer and his team didn't tell the Electoral Commission about the £740,000 donation that he received to help him install himself as Labour leader and then therefore Prime Minister? It's linked to that. You will not believe who is actually behind this whole digital ID push. That is going to be sending shivers up and down your spine and everywhere else, just not in a good way, guys. And then finally, yeah, we're going to go through the reactions, and then that's when I'm going to open up the phone lines for you guys to call in and have your say about digital ID, whether you support or against it. Don't matter. Have your say. We still believe in free speech over here, so I'll be opening up the phone lines at that point. So do stay tuned. So that is what's coming up, you guys, for this Red Alert broadcast for Friday, the 26th of September, 2025. Thank you so much to everyone that has tuned in live for this. For those that usually watch me over on Steph the Alternerd this time on this day every Friday, as I said to you guys, there's more important things at the moment than discussing the gruesome twosome. And it's this. So thank you so much to everyone over there that understands why I'm going live on this channel instead. Also as well, you guys may have noticed this little counter right here. You probably put 2 and 2 together and come out with 4, but for those that don't know, there is a petition right now that has already, wow, gone over 1,300,000. This is how, one of the ways we can stop this digital ID nonsense from invading our lives and invading this country. So please, if you want to stop digital ID, and if you haven't done so already, sign the petition now. Don't delay. Go away from this live stream, sign the petition, come back. I don't care. Just sign this petition. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is pinned right at the top of the live chat. If you're watching on X, I've put the link in the live chat. I'm looking after you guys as well. So thank you so much for everyone in advance for sharing the petition and signing it as well. So a couple of housekeeping things before we really kick off today's festivities, whatever the frick you want to call it. So just to give you a quick update on the channel and the studio, you guys know, as I've been telling you guys over the last couple of weeks, that your super chats are going towards specific equipment for the studio, one of which was the Elgato webcam, Facecam Pro. Yes, it is here. I'm going to be installing it later on in the studio. So thank you so much to everyone that sent a super chat to help me get this for the studio. Any further super chats obviously will be going towards reinvestment back into the channel, back into the studio, and also as well to help me live off of as well, because this is my full-time job. Just to, you know, put it out there and be completely transparent with you guys. And then secondly and last thing before we really jump into it, I promise you guys, but from the last Red Alert broadcast, you guys were like, we should have I Love Bacon t-shirts. Well, go on to stephthealternerd.com right now, because if you scroll down, there's the Bacon Brigade collection. These are all designed by myself using AI. Okay, fair enough. But it's all designed by myself. You've got women's t-shirts, men's t-shirts, hats, beanies. Just to go through the selection, they're all the same in terms of the design. You've got 2 versions of Save Our Bacon. We've got Make Bacon Great Again. We've got I Love Bacon, 2 versions, because I couldn't decide, so I've put them both up. And Ode Bacon. So, they're there if you want. Yes, I do make a couple of bucks out of it. Only a couple. It's not that much, really, in the grand scheme of things. But again, anything that I do make, it'll be going back into the channel, back into the studio, and a little bit for me to live off of, because again, this is my job. I do this full time, as you can appreciate. With that being said, Big SM, thank you so much for the first super chat for today's Red Alert broadcast, saying the majority of Labour's cabinet are in the Fabian Society, whose goal is Marxism by evolution, not revolution, all towards Agenda 2030 and the WF and the WHO. I know. Let me know, you guys, if you want me to actually jump into that. Some people would think that it's quite, what would you call it? Conspiratorial, like putting on like the tinfoil hat and all that jazz. But no, this is true. This is pretty serious. So if you guys want me to dive into that as well, maybe in a future video or Red Alert broadcast, let me know. But thanks to the Big SM for the first super chat for today's Red Alert broadcast. I appreciate your face. So yeah, let's jump into this right now. Again, thank you so much for everyone coming in right now live. If you guys believe that digital ID should not be introduced into the UK, hit that like button right now. It just gives me a little bit of a quick gauge as to who's against it and who's not, really, at the end of the day. So if you believe digital IDs is essentially the devil, hit that like button right now, just as a voting tool for me to figure out who really is against digital ID and who's not, number-wise. Anywho, let's jump into this right now because, yeah, here is Starmer's digital ID hypocrisy exposed. 5 years ago, he tweeted this out. The government plans on voter ID risk, locking people out of democracy. So the Conservatives, right, because they were in power back in 2020, wanted to actually introduce digital ID. Yeah. Well, a form of digital ID anyway, a voter ID. He turned around and said no. And when you look into the article that Starmer shared at the time back in 2020, it says the following. The government may have misled MPs over mandatory voter ID. Interesting, right? After it was revealed the data cited by a minister to prove the system does not discriminate against BAME voters does not exist. Labour has said the disconnect between the Cabinet's office statement and the Electoral Commission's evidence will raise questions over whether the government has examined any evidence on the impact of ethnic minority voters, of requiring voters to bring ID in order to vote. So, this is the thing, right? The Conservatives wanted to bring in a certain form of ID. He turned around and said it would never work. We're turning around and saying the same thing. Digital ID is never going to work, but he's trying to push it. This is the hypocrisy right here, guys, that not a lot of people are talking about, so I'm going to bring it to your attention. The article then goes on to say, asked for evidence in a written question last month, Smith said the following. Based on the Independent Electoral Commission's evaluation of the 2018 and 2019 voter ID pilots, there's no indication that any consistent demographic was adversely affected by the use of voter ID. However, in both of its most recent reports, the Electoral Commission said it had no way of measuring the effect of voter ID on minority ethnic communities' votes. Polling station staff were not asked to collect demographic data about the people who did not come back, owing to the practical challenges involved in carrying out that data collection exercise, the 2019 report said. It then says that means we have no direct evidence to tell us whether people from particular backgrounds were more likely than others to find it hard to show ID. Now, this is the thing. Starmer is now trying to mislead us, where the Conservatives tried to mislead us on voter ID, this, that and the other, and Starmer called them out on that, right? Here's the further hypocrisy. Starmer is now trying to mislead us on his push for digital ID. Because he says here, I know you're worried. I know you're worried, guys, about the level of illegal migration into this country. Digital ID is just another measure to make it tougher to work illegally here. Making our borders more secure. Ours is a fairer Britain built on change, not division. Do you know what? You want to make the borders more secure? Get our navy out there. Get all the boats turned around and get them back to France. And whoever does come here, you put them in detention centres and then you fly them back from where they came from. That's it. That's it. You want to make the borders more secure, Starmer? It's within your power to do so. But no. He's now using, we need to make borders more secure as his reason for digital ID, saying that digital ID will make the borders more secure. Now, Nigel Farage completely destroys Starmer's argument in one tweet, right? And says the following. We already have digital IDs to ensure migrants have the right to work here. So any foreign employee needs to get a share code on their e-visa account. and give it to the employer to check on a system. If an employer doesn't get a share code, they are breaking the law. We don't need digital ID. What's the real reason behind Starmer's push for digital ID? And we'll be getting onto that in the fourth part of this Red Alert broadcast, because you will not believe your ear holes and your eyeballs when I tell you who's really behind the push for digital ID. Now, before we go any further, MLS making law simple. Hey, up, my friend. Thank you so much for the super chat saying hello to my dear friend Steph. Hey, up, MLS. In the socialist totalitarian state that is the United Kingdom. Yeah, I can't argue with that, mate. I really cannot argue for that, mate. Thank you so much. Anyone else that sends a super chat in the meantime, I will get to you guys as and when I can. Now, I found this from my good friend Emma Dunwell over on E Speaks Freely. This is her YouTube channel right here. Please subscribe to it. She does amazing work. And here she says, throwback to an impromptu interview I did with Andrew Eborn some months ago. Like I said before, anyone who gets what digital ID really is has seen it coming for a while. Get a load of this, guys.
I think that the way our country is going is completely unsustainable. We're heading towards civil unrest. But if you really want my personal opinion, I think that they're flooding our country with migrants so that they can turn around and go, oh, well, in order to keep you all safe, we need a digital ID system. And then we're all going to be surveyed. So that's where I think it's going.
I agree. And now, oh my goodness, you are not going to believe your eyeballs and ear holes on this one, even on the BBC. People are speaking out against digital ID. Here is Billy Bragg on BBC Question Time saying the following.
My concern is more about civil liberties, to be perfectly honest with you. All of a sudden, it's put the whole problem onto us. We're going to be the people who have to be carrying these cards around. So if you're acting in a way that is not standard, the way people, the council or the police look at it, the chances are you're going to be stopped. Since the Equalities Commission said that trans women shouldn't use ladies' toilets, cis women are being confronted because they don't present in a traditional feminine way. They're being angrily confronted in ladies' toilets now. And I think this will be the same. Any person who doesn't look like a standard English person could be stopped by the police or the authorities, demand to produce their card. And even those people who do look like a standard English person, if we can decide what that is. Say you're going down to Euston one day and you get there to find that the authorities have closed the station because they're checking for illegal immigrants and everybody has to go through their system to get out of the railway station. This is the sort of society we're moving towards. I don't think we should do it.
I don't think we should do it either. Now, what action is being taken to stop this madness? Well, my favourite MP, and I'm sure he's a favourite MP for a lot of you guys as well, Rupert Lowe, he's already taken crucial action to fight against this. He says, I've just submitted a parliamentary motion opposing digital ID. All supportive MPs must immediately put aside any petty political differences and come together to oppose such a horrific scheme. Say no to digital ID. And so here, he submitted this motion saying that this House expresses grave concern at the government's plans to introduce a compulsory UK-wide digital identity scheme. Notes that such a system would represent an unprecedented expansion of state surveillance over law-abiding citizens, granting government departments and potentially private contractors access to a centralised database of personal data, believes that compulsory digital ID will do little to deter illegal working or illegal immigration, since those breaking immigration law will simply avoid compliance, while the law-abiding majority will face greater intrusion, bureaucratic hassle and risk of data breaches. Warns that such a scheme could create a papers please culture and a two-tier society where those without smartphones or digital access are unfairly penalised, and therefore calls on the government to abandon plans for a mandatory digital ID scheme. and instead focus on practical enforcement of existing immigration and employment laws, mainly mass deportations. Because this is the thing, right? In America, you guys don't have digital ID, right? Trump is deporting nations to the people, right? And from my perspective, with what I'm seeing here, right, really kind of strengthening the borders. If Trump can do that in a country 1,000,000 times more the size of ours, right, without digital ID, then our own little island can do the same. Right? Now, he is building on the momentum here, Rupert Lowe, by getting every other MP from every single party imaginable to join in the fight against Starmer as well, saying all MPs have been sent an invitation to sign this joint letter to Starmer outlining our profound opposition to the introduction of digital ID. I'm hoping to build cross-party resistance. Digital ID will not be introduced without an almighty fight in Parliament. Yes, but also an almighty fight from the public as well. The public overwhelmingly, when you look at the polls, are saying, we don't want this. Piss off. Now, Nigel Farage, of course, one of the, let's say, the usual suspects, that you know would be against digital ID. Yeah, he's against it. And dismantles Starmer's justification further for having it by saying the following here.
So the Prime Minister says we must have digital ID. That's the way we'll stop illegal immigration. Well, think about it. Germany has ID cards, strict ID and checks. It's made no difference at all in Germany, and nor will it here. All that digital ID will be is a means of controlling the population, of telling us what we can and can't do, of fining the innocent. And didn't we see it all when we had the pandemic, when you had to have vaccine ID to travel, to do various things? Did that stop the COVID pandemic spreading? Did it? Hell, all it did was put cost and inconvenience on everybody else. I also worry about massive data banks being held by the government, being hacked by foreign governments, by private companies, by criminals. I do not see a single benefit to the government having digital ID other than them controlling what we do, what we spend, and where we go. And we, in Reform, are wholly opposed to it in every single way.
Yep. Now, before we continue, Big SM, thank you so much for the super chat saying digital ID is bad. Digital money is the real evil. Yeah. Digital ID is bad. Digital money, what are you talking about? You mean crypto? Do you mean crypto? Because I actually support crypto. We might be disagreeing there, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, Big SM, but I'm all for crypto. I really am. That definitely is the future. I see it very clearly. Now, before we continue, thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in so far to this emergency Red Alert broadcast. I can see here that 480 of you are currently watching at the moment. Please use the like button as you vote in tool. If you are totally against digital IDs being introduced in the UK, can you hit that like button? It's just the quickest and easiest way for me just to gauge where you guys are at, if you actually agree with me or not. I'm totally against digital IDs. Do you agree with me? Again, use the like button as just as a quick voting tool, just so I can quickly gauge your reaction to it all, and if we're on the same lines kind of situation. All right, guys. And so Nigel Farage, right? He also clarifies further, saying, I'm firmly opposed to Starmer's digital ID cards. It will make no difference to legal immigration, but it will be used to control and penalise the rest of us. The state should never have this much power. So it's not just me just turning around and saying, right, just out of my backside, the digital IDs is not going to do a damn thing to stop these boats and to stop illegal immigration. It's not going to decrease it at all. The politicians are saying exactly the same thing. That Starmer's rationale to introduce digital IDs into this country is BS. Now, as my good mate Dan over on Black Belt Barrister says right here, and if you're not subscribed to him on YouTube, get it done now, guys, says Keir thinks Forcing tens of millions to have an ID card with all the data protection risks that brings is the solution to stopping small boats? What a joke. And some people wonder why Elon Musk says that we're screwed. Tell me about it. And just to give you a little bit more information as to why pretty much everyone and their dog, cat, alpaca, lion, giraffe, the whole freaking zoo, right, is opposing Starmer on this one. Well, I found this blog from that alexwoman.com. Now, there is a little bit of a religious slant. If you believe, that's fine. If not, that's fine as well. But she writes, because why have banking apps, accounting apps, which will have to link to the banking apps, NHS apps, and then digital ID, when you can have one big beautiful app for a lot of it? Logical, right? And before you know it, presto, we have the Chinese social credit system, where the compliance of business and individuals is monitored via big data. Surveillance and AI to render scores on financial records, social media activity and public behaviour and generate blacklists, with obedient servants of the state having access to loans and holidays, while wrong-uns can be dealt with accordingly. These things are inevitable. Build it and they will come. So before suddenly finding freedom is a fiction of the past, I can't help but go back to Revelation. Because when we allow agency and free will to be turned into a hierarchical control system with the state at the top, we neglect our own capability as compassionate, empathetic, intelligent beings, bound by independence and individual sovereignty. We do as the Bible foretells, invite something rather unhuman and inhumane into our lives. I agree. Do you guys? Now, Big Brother Watch director Silky Carlo says right here,
unfortunately, Blair's vision for a dystopian surveillance state where we all carry ID cards and as you say, everything we do can be tracked and logged by the state and controlled, and we need a digital pass to go about our daily lives. This idea is reinvented every few years, and of course Starmer has been very Blairite in his premiership, and now with no mandate whatsoever, nobody voted for this. This was not in the manifesto. He is proposing to introduce it to stop small boats, which, as you said, is absolutely ludicrous. I don't think there's, it's basically an IQ test, the idea that a digital ID will stop rubber dinghies coming across the channel. But what this will do is create the infrastructure of a massive surveillance state that will inevitably sprawl into many areas of life. You would have to be very naive to think that this will stop with citizenship. It will sprawl into benefits, health.
This is the thing, right? I'm not talking out of my backside here. Digital IDs in this country is not going to stop those dinghies. It's not going to stop those small boats. It's not going to stop the invasion of these illegal, predominantly Muslim men, immigrants, coming into this country. What it is going to do, though, is give the Labour dictatorship total control over us all. I don't freaking think so. I don't think so. And there is opposition to this, literally in every political corner. Because it's not just Reform that's opposing this. Every single corner of the political spectrum are against Starmer on this one. And I've found certain politicians and certain parties that I'm diametrically opposed. I'm agreeing with them and they're agreeing with me. Let me show you guys. I've got the receipts. First and foremost, the Conservatives are against it. Secondly, Lord David Frost, member of the House of Lords and a Conservative, is against it. Let's put it this way. If one member of the House of Lords is against it, how many more are then going to block this? Even if it passes, right, it then has to go to House of Lords. You think they're going to let Keir Starmer get away with it? I don't think so. I think the House of Lords is on our side here, guys. But yeah, not just the House of Lords that's against it, it seems. We've got the Liberal Democrats right here. Oh, it gets better. We've got here Sinn Féin. The Greens are against this. Sean Berry, when I can get my teeth back in, apologies. Sean Berry's the Green MP for Brighton Pavilion. So the Green Party's against this. The SNP up in Scotland are against this. We then have Sinn Féin, Michelle O'Neill, the First Minister, being against this. Oh, and if you thought I was done with getting the receipts, oh, check this out. We are now living in a universe, in a reality, where I'm agreeing with the likes of Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn's against this. Oh, it's even better. Zara Sultana is against this. James McDermott is against this. These are some independents now that we've got here. Adnan Hussain, another independent MP, is against this. Oh, guys. And if you think I'm done with the receipts, I've got the last two to show you. Before I do so, though, a couple of thank yous. Firstly, thank you to the big SM himself for another super chat saying they will force the issue by gradually making it impossible to interact with any service, bank, etc. without going online. Driving license now an app. Yeah. It's not going to go through. The amount of opposition against this from all corners of the political spectrum, and I'm not even done yet, is immense. So immense. This thing's not going to get through. It's not going to get through. The petition as well is going to help with that. So, guys, if you haven't done so already, please sign the petition. If you're watching on YouTube, it is pinned right at the top of the live chat. If you're watching on X, it's in the live chat there as well. If you are totally against digital ID, sign the petition now, because the petition, coupled with all this opposition from every single corner of the political spectrum, it's got to be the final nail in the coffin. Not only for digital ID, but for Keir Starmer as well. Because I'll give Keir Starmer his due here. He definitely has achieved something. He has achieved every single corner of the political spectrum coming together in a very, very rare moment where we're all agreeing on something. He's united us all. He really, really has. The Triggered Christian, thank you so much for the £2 super chat saying Mark of the Beast. And then he gave the Revelation Bible mark there. So thank you so much for that. Let's, though, get into even some of his Labour minions are against him. Like I said, you think you know who every single person is opposed against him? No. Even Labour minions are against him, such as freaking Nadia Whittome. Again, someone else I'm pretty much diametrically opposed against, right? Politically, ethically, the whole lot. We're in agreement. And even Clive Lewis. Now, this segues into who's actually behind this, right? Because if you think the introduction of digital ID sends a shiver up and down your spine, no. You know nothing yet. You know nothing yet. So Clive Lewis, MP, says the following. This is what happens when you outsource your policy programme to the Tony Blair Institute, corporates and tech billionaires. Any trade unions, civil society orgs and campaign groups opposing this dystopian mess, count me in. Who is behind this absolute push for digital ID? Let's get into it right now, because this ain't a conspiracy. This is fact. So within the last 48 hours, for a lot of you guys that follow me here on my YouTube channel on X, I released a video discussing Keir Starmer and the nearly £740,000 donations to his cause to install himself as Labour leader and then essentially Prime Minister, right? They didn't declare the £740,000 donations to his cause to the Electoral Commission. Now, where did the £740,000 come from? Came from an organisation called Labour Together. Now, thanks to Martin Goodman on X here, saying the following: Starmer's £740,000 undeclared fraud scheme to get elected was in the news for 2 minutes. So he launched digital ID to get everyone to stop talking about it. It's all part of the plan. And I think they are connected. And I thought, hang on a minute. You got a good point there, Martin. I thought about it. I thought, wow. I was so all up in arms, quite rightly so, that we had found out that Keir Starmer may have fraudulently, essentially, as far as I'm concerned, made his way to become Labour leader and therefore Prime Minister of the UK by taking £740,000 of donations for his campaign to become leader and didn't declare it. I was so angry about that and so determined to put that information out so you guys would know about it that then that was completely forgot when Starmer was like, digital IDs. I thought, do you know what, Martin? Dude, you've got a good point. So I had a little rummage. And it didn't take long for me to find what I found. Before we get into that, just a little bit of a cliffhanger there. Private Jose B32, thank you so much for your super chat, saying, don't worry, people, it's just to scare us and it won't work. It will never happen. Starmer has been sniffing the good old white stuff, allegedly. We don't know what the white stuff is. I'm not assuming what that white stuff is. Just saying. And then Private Jose B32 says, they say, ooh, you can lose your job. Okay, so the whole country don't do it. We have no more taxes. Yay, it will never happen. Trust me. And then says, a big one, even Owen Jones said no. Yeah, there's so many that are saying no from every single corner of the political spectrum. Now, let's get back to who's really, really behind this, guys. Because Martin Goodman here, I was like, bloody hell, he's got a good point. So I had a little rummage. And it did not take me long to find this. Prepare to feel sick to your stomach. And prepare to have real chills go up and down your spine. Because thanks to Kevin Hollinrake here, Conservative MP for Thurston Malton and the party chairman, he says shady group Labour Together secretly bankrolled Starmer. This week we exposed the scandal. McSweeney and LT's web of deceit made the front page. Now Labour rush out digital ID cards to distract from the truth. And guess who's behind that policy? Labour Together. Here you go. Here's the receipts. BritCard, a progressive digital identity for Britain. How well-designed digital credentials can help tackle illegal migration privately, securely and fairly. And this came out June 2025 by Kirsty Innes, Morgan Wild and Lauren Boxall. And there it is, Labour Together. Now, I'm just asking for a friend here. Only just asking for a friend. But I got a question here. And it's a question that I don't think anyone's asked yet. You know the £740,000 undeclared money that was given to Starmer to install him as Labour leader and then essentially Prime Minister? Was that a payoff? Did that come with strings attached? Which is, we'll give you, which is this, all right? And again, just asking for a friend here, but it's this. We'll give you the £740,000. This is Labour Together. We'll give you the 740 grand to get you to become Labour leader and then, you know, Prime Minister. But you've got to do this. You've got to introduce digital ID into the country. Was the £740,000 of undeclared money that Starmer got to help him get into power a bribe? Again, I'm just asking for a friend here. It's not a statement of fact, not an accusation. I'm just asking for a friend. Is that £740,000 undeclared money to get Starmer into power a bribe from Labour Together, saying, we'll give you this money if when you are in power, you introduce digital ID? Because over a year later, since he got himself installed into power, digital ID now, he's trying to push it through. What do you guys think to that? Now, the Twitter reactions have been coming through thick and fast. And guys, stay tuned because I'm going to be opening up the phone line shortly. You guys are going to have your say, whether you're for or against. That's fine. We've got free speech here. Tim For All saying, remember Tony Blair and Peter Mandelson also told us that the Horizon automated system was without flaws? Yeah. The post office postmasters really got screwed over there. People have every right to be sceptical and reject Keir Starmer's compulsory digital ID. Hell yeah. Let's put it this way as well. I don't trust the government with my information. The little information that they've got, I hate them having it. Why? Because it was only a couple of months back, wasn't it, that the article came out that the government had accidentally leaked, like what, thousands of Afghan details who had helped us during the Afghanistan war. And because they were leaked, they were in danger, so we had to ship them over here to the UK as a result. If they can't even look after, right, the details of the Afghanistans that helped our forces during the Afghanistan war, you think I'm going to trust them with even more of my information and do this digital ID nonsense? Not a freaking chance in hell. No, I'm not going there. No. And a lot of you guys aren't as well. At the moment, looking at the petition right here, 1,339,254 of you are telling him to piss off. We're not doing digital IDs. And for those that are really against digital IDs, there is a way to fight back. One of the ways is to sign this petition. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is pinned right at the top of the live chat. If you're watching on X, the link is in the chat there. I'm looking after you guys, both sides. Whoop, whoop. Anywho, let's get into more reactions because here we've got James Harvey saying, we've arranged a date and created a poster. Appropriate arrangements are being made. Announcement coming tomorrow evening. Resist, defy, do not comply. Absolutely. And it looks like this is what's going to happen now. The emergency protest, Monday the 6th of October at Downing Street. I will be there. I'm planning to go so I can cover it for you guys. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe to this channel straight away. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Steph Alternerd. Let's go on for a few more reactions. I mean, here, she's the freaking bed. This, right?
In my opinion, I don't think it's going to stop immigration, but it's going to open doors to having ID cards on your phone without producing the thing. But it is going to open up fraud where people can create false apps and then it can be reproduced. So it defeats the purpose of bringing it on phones when we've already had cyber attacks that are happening now. And how do we not know they're going to happen to our phones? In my opinion,
he's got a good point, right? Here's another one. Emily Carver, host of Good Afternoon Britain. GB News saying, Starmer to bring in digital ID cards, law-abiding British citizens once again pay the price for the government's failure to fulfil one of their most basic functions, controlling our borders. It's pitiful. It is pitiful. Absolutely. Alison Pearson. Once I might have thought digital ID was not a bad idea. COVID lockdown, though, showed us what the state could do with it, coercing people into getting a jab on pain of denying them entry to places. Would anyone trust this authoritarian socialist government not to abuse digital ID? I won't freaking trust them with my little freaking finger at this point. But again, this is a good, she's got a good perspective here. She really, really does. I remember it, don't you? During the COVID lockdown years, you could only travel to places in the world if you had had the COVID jab and you had the certificate or whatever to confirm it. Not only that, but what? It was like 24, 48 hours before flying, you had to then go to a certain place to get tested to prove that you didn't have it as well. Yeah. So she's got a good point here. The government have already shown themselves and proven themselves that digital ID would just further turn this country into an authoritarian state. Guaranteed. Private Jose B32, thank you so much for another super chat. You're really being generous today. Thank you so much for your trust in me and investing back into this channel and into this studio, saying, somehow Starmer's managed to unite left and right. Magical. I never thought I'd hear that. Rule Britannia, Keir Starmer is toast. After this, love your channel. Hopefully the donations help. They definitely do, Private Jose. Thank you so much. All donations are used to reinvest back into the channel to get more equipment. Also as well, this is my full-time job, so it does help a little bit to pay the bills, of course. But yeah, any way that I can reinvest back into the channel, and I will do. So thank you so much, mate. I appreciate it. If anyone else can help to, you know, reinvest back into the channel, please do so and send a quick super chat my way. Private Jose also saying there have been 21 data breaches in the UK not too long ago. Digital ID would get hacked within a day or two. Top hackers can hack anything. Yeah, they can. And for those that don't know, my last job before I went full-time YouTube, actually, for those that don't know, I was in complaints and compliance in the financial industry. And in the compliance area, I dealt with data protection requests. So I'm a little bit up, you know, I'm a little bit knowledgeable when it does come to data protection and compliance. And yeah, I've seen not just the government, but other organizations and other companies where there's been data breaches and hacks. And I look into them and I think, shiz the freaking bed. Are you stupid? How did you not put this in? And how did you not put that in? And oh my goodness. Yeah. A lot of these companies, right, when it comes to data protection, in my humble opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, right, they do the bare minimum to protect your data, because by doing the bare minimum, it means that they don't have to spend as much money to protect it. As long as they do the bare minimum, they're all right. But the bare minimum is not good enough, especially in this day and age. And that's only in my humble opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. You think the government is going to really make sure our data is protected. No, again, they're going to do the bare minimum as well. Why? Because they don't have freaking enough money to do it otherwise. We're spending it all on the freaking illegal immigrants. Let's be real here. He says, don't forget David Icke warned us 15 years ago. David Icke is right on some things, wrong on other things. He's a little bit of a divisive character. Let's get into a couple more reactions before I look at a few more of your comments and we do the call-in section of the show. So Bob of Speaker's Corner saying, urgent, say no to digital ID in Britain. Labour's digital ID plan risks state surveillance, punishing the law-abiding instead of real criminals. This will erode our freedoms, lock vulnerable people out of basic services, and create a papers, please, Britain. Look at China's social credit system. Do we really want that here? Hell no! Let's protect our rights. Sign the petition now. And again, for those that are watching live on YouTube, the link to the petition is pinned right at the top of the live chat. For those watching on X, it is in the live chat there. And let me show you the last reaction I pulled from X that I thought was also interesting. And this is from Liam Tufts saying a digital ID card is not to stop the boats, it's to stop our freedoms, it's communism. The state will encroach bit by bit until they're monitoring your private conversations, purchases, journeys, transactions, and then they'll start capping and controlling further. We must refuse it. At all costs, yes, we must refuse it. And this is a thing, right? Okay. Let's take Keir Starmer at his word just for one moment. Temporarily, for 2 seconds. He says digital ID will stop the boats, make it harder to work here, this, that, and the other. No, it won't. No, it won't. The English Channel's still going to be the same. We're still going to be escorting these illegal immigrants into the country, as we're doing at the moment. We're not turning them back. We're letting them in. Having digital ID cards is not going to change that at all. And then when we try and kick them out, they then cry human rights. And because we're part of the European Court of Human Rights, they win. So regardless of us having a digital ID or not, right, they're still going to come in illegally. Then when we do try and kick them out, they cry human rights and the judge lets them stay here forever. That scenario is still going to play out even if we still have digital IDs. Why? Because the point where the judge turns around and says, yep, you can stay here indefinitely because of your human rights, this, that, and the other, the government's just going to issue them a digital ID. Do you think it's going to stop shiz? No, it's not. It's still going to be the same situation. The difference is we will then be a totalitarian state where the government will control everything. And we're going to have the Chinese version of a social credit score in this country. I say no to it all. Do you? So, let's see. Shaz says, have you spoken to Dan, Black Belt Barrister? He's done a video about this too. Yeah, I have. Dan and I, we speak regularly behind the scenes. We message each other. And with the digital ID situation at the moment, oh my goodness, yeah, that's definitely blown up. And yeah, it's... I said to him, the last thing I said to him was, I'm just amazed at how every single corner of the political spectrum all coming together in a rare moment where we're all agreeing on something, which is no digital IDs. And he's like, yeah, it's nuts. It is. It really, really is. Private Jose says, I never had any jabs and never will. I did. Full transparency, I did. Now, I believed in people's freedom as to whether they wanted to have it or not. I didn't like this whole push to try and force people or coerce people to have the jabs. That I didn't like. The reason why I had the jabs is because, for me, I was scared. I'll come out and say it. I was scared. I already have an underlying condition which made me in like the vulnerable category already. So I was able to get the jab before a lot of people because of that. And so, yeah, I was scared. I was scared of getting it, which would make then my underlying condition even worse. And so that's why I got it. But I respect those that didn't have it, that didn't take it. To my knowledge, my brother didn't have the jab. Fair play. Do you know what I mean? MPNG Creed Menace, Death Storm. Yes, Darth Storm Wang. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. I love a little bit of Star Wars in the evening. Big SM says COVID jabs will be mandatory on your or your ID is blocked. They'll say, you've got to do this or you're blocked. They'll say, you have to act this way, otherwise we are going to restrict your access here. Yeah. It's even, I mean, it's just like from the top of my head, but it's even worse, guys. Private Jose B32 says, a 16-year-old hacker, the bloody Pentagon. Yeah. 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 You think digital ID can't be hacked? Like that gentleman said on Question Time on BBC when I played it to you a few moments ago. He had a good point. That's why I shared it with you guys. Introduce digital ID, but that's not going to stop hackers from developing mirror apps that look exactly the same. And you can get digital IDs on the black market, this, that, and the other. I don't think Starmer's really thought this one through. Thing is, though, the moron's freaking doubling down, saying digital ID is going to help with illegal immigration, the boats, this, that, and the other. He's trying to turn around and say 2 + 2 = 5. Trust me, bro. Yeah, no. No. Whenever anyone says, trust me, bro, yeah, that's when you get up and you walk the fuck out. Walk out. Opposite direction. A goodbye. With that being said, let's open the phone lines, guys. I know a lot of you are in at the moment, so let's do this. Here we go. Now, this is a Zoom link. However, it is entirely up to you guys. You can either show your face or not. Not a problem. Again, entirely up to you guys. Also, as well, if you do call in, please make sure that you turn off the YouTube stream because there is a little bit of a delay. So turn off the YouTube stream and you're going to be absolutely fine. I promise you. So, yeah. Here we go. All right. So I'm all for free speech. Okay. So call in if you're for, against, not a problem. But yeah. Let's try. Let's keep this civil. Yeah. Keep it clean. Okay, guys, let's keep this clean. All right. This is the first time I'm actually doing a call-in like this on a live stream, so I'm a little bit excited. I have to admit. Let me just... Here we go. I'm just going to make sure that the screens are looking fine for us all. Yeah, there we go. We're sorted. All right, so everything's set up. The link is live. I'll pop the live link in the X stream as well. Says the address is invalid when you click on the link. Okay. Let me just try that again, guys. That would happen, wouldn't it? Ugh. Copy the invite link. Try that again. Is that working? If not, I'll just reset the Zoom. Emily, yes, looks like it is working. There we go. Let me just do this. All right. So we have our first caller. So let me just pop you in. All right. Hey up, caller. I'll call you Mikey. Mikey, can you hear me, mate? I'm loving the avatar, by the way. Very patriotic. I do like that. I need to redo my nails, to be fair. I don't know why, it just came to me that, but whatever. Mikey, can you hear me, mate? Ah, and he's gone. Oh, that was a shame. That was a shame. Does anyone else want to call in? Let me know. Private Jose, thank you so much for another super chat. Again, I really appreciate your investment into this channel, into this studio. So thank you so much, mate. Saying Star Wars. Yes, Star Wars Revenge of the Illegal Immigrants coming to a town near you. Wow. Now, this channel is called Political Nerds, right? But I am a nerd with a capital N. Oh my goodness. I love Star Wars. It's a thing. But as we're just waiting for anyone to call in, if anyone does call in, if not, that's cool as well. Just as a little side note, okay, just to kind of lighten the atmosphere a little bit. So DC and Marvel, for the first time in like over 20 years, are doing a crossover comic book kind of run. DC and Marvel, Marvel and DC have just released their run of comic books for the oh my goodness, I've just had an absolute brain fart and I don't know why. Oh my goodness, it's the Deadpool Batman. I wanted to say Daredevil. I know, right? It's the Deadpool Batman comic book that's come out. So I've got that and all the variations. So I'm really, really proud of that. And then DC are going to release their version in November, which is the Batman Deadpool comic book that they've got. So really excited. So yeah, coming around full circle, the point of all that is, yeah, I appreciate this comment. The nerdier, the better. The nerdier, the better. I stan. Here are some of my comic books right there that's actually a part of this studio. And then the rest of the comic books that are coming in, they're going to be part of this studio as well. So there we go. Let's say. Let's see what you guys are saying. Anyone that sends super chat sticker, member only chats, your chats are guaranteed to be read. Anyone else, I'll just pick and choose what comes out to me, but your chats are not guaranteed to be read, so please do bear that in mind. I can see here there is someone that's calling in, so let's get her to enter the chat. Her name is Emily. All right. Hello. Hey up, Emily. How's it going? Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
So, digital IDs. The floor is yours.
No freaking way for me. They say it will probably just be our names, address, and date of birth. But what's to stop them adding our medical data, our browsing history, where we are past and current jobs, past and current where we've lived, etc., etc., etc. My mum was like, "Oh, they'll make us safer." No, they say they're not going to add all that. Yeah, and what about the next government and the government after that? And what happens when they've got all this data on us, and then suddenly they've got a data breach, either from them or whoever they're farming it out to, and then our whole lives can just be, copied. It won't just be, oh, they've stolen like my bank details, or they've stolen this or that. They'll literally be able to completely, clone us, whoever hacks. So, no, I won't do it. I won't sign up. And they can shove it where the sun don't shine.
I can't disagree with anything that you said there. Emily, what was your reaction when I unveiled who is behind this, who's trying to push this Labour together? What did you think to that?
I'm not surprised.
Why?
I'd already signed the because they're just flipping corrupt. I'd already signed the petition about midday when there were around just over 800,000. I'd been watching a video of someone else's on it, and it was like absolutely freaking no.
Yeah. So, with that being said, what's your reaction to seeing quite literally everyone from every political corner coming together and in unison being like, hell no to political ID, including, politicians that, generally speaking, we're diametrically opposed to?
Well, I just hope it means that it doesn't get through, because we let that through, will lead to just other worse things getting through, and will become first China and then North Korea.
What is your biggest fear when it comes to digital IDs?
My biggest fear is all our information will be put into one place, it gets hacked, and then, well, we're completely screwed. If they've got they've got, like, a whole, you know, everything about us, a whole load of people, they can extort them, they can, copy these people, oh, you look like this person, here's this person's whole life history, and then we're completely screwed over.
And given, the data breaches that we know of over the years, courtesy of the government, the latest one being the Afghan interpreters that helped the forces during the Afghanistan war over a decade ago, their details got leaked. So the government was like, oh, we had to rush them out of Afghanistan and rehouse them here with their families and everything, right, as a result. Do you think that they've booked their ideas up so that we can trust them with our data or not?
I don't know whether they purposely leaked it, whether it was accidentally leaked, or what it was, but they screwed over whatever it was. They screwed up big time, and yeah, and I say, if they want to really cut down the immigration of illegal immigrants, then stop giving them hotel rooms, stop giving them 3 hot meals a day, stop giving them benefits, stop giving them trips to the doctors whenever they want them. Make flipping camps with bunk beds to get a bowl of cereal for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and just a hot meal for dinner, and that's it. They ain't gonna want to come over if they're gonna be set just in warehouses with just, bunks and basic food. They're coming over to us because they're getting better lives than they are over there, and as well as better lives than even some of our own country people in our own country are.
Yeah. It's true. So do you believe Keir Starmer when he turns around and says that digital IDs will stop illegal immigration because it'll make it hard for illegals to work in this country?
No, it won't stop illegal immigration because, like you said, they can still come over on the boats. And then when it comes to getting jobs and things, well, the people who are illegally working in this country, they're not illegally working because they don't have a British ID. They're illegally working because the people who are employing them aren't registering them, aren't checking their blooming ID in the first place. If you don't ask for an ID, whether it be a digital, a passport, a driver's license, whatever, then it makes absolutely no difference to whether you've got a digital ID or not. They're going to still hire people because these people are cheap labour, so they're just going to hire them. They're still not going to declare them, and because the people who are legally hiring them don't give a flying F.
You see, this is the thing, right? It kind of reminds me of Uber Eats. A couple of months ago, turning round and say, oh, if you do a crackdown on illegal workers, this, that and the other, then we'll just have to increase our prices because we'll have to let go of a lot of them that we're employing ourselves or whatever they said, right? And to me, it's like, hang on a minute. Why couldn't the government turn round, use Uber as an example for the rest of the organisations out there and companies out there and come down on them with a ton of bricks? Turning around and saying whether you purposely hired these illegals or not, if you purposely hired them, shit's a freaking bad. If you didn't purposely hire them, still shit's a freaking bad because your operation isn't stringent enough to weed these people out so they don't go on your books in the first place. Either way, Uber should have been absolutely fined to buggery for it. Instead, it's crickets. You wanna dissuade illegals from working? Completely come down on the companies like a ton of bricks that's hiring them in the first place and fine them to buggery. It'll soon stop. Illegals working here will soon stop.
Yeah. And if the government really wanted to know to make sure that we all had ID and wanted to, and if companies were actually doing their jobs and things, it would be far safer to say, right, everybody in the UK must have a passport. I mean, what's hard about that? Just saying you must have a passport, because a passport will say, well, as our date of birth in it. So why not just say it is mandatory to have a passport?
I wouldn't even go that far. I would just say, right, it's mandatory to have a national insurance number. If you have a national insurance number, crack on. If not, you're illegal. What the hell are you doing here? Because I see where you're coming from, Emily, with the passport situation. However, there are those that don't have it. And it's kind of the same kind of thing of digital IDs, turning around and saying, it discriminates against those that don't have smartphones or not tech savvy, right? Saying, well, as long as you've got a passport here that you can work. Again, that discriminates against those that choose not to have a passport for whatever reason, whether they just don't want to travel or can't afford it, for example. Because, passports now are damn expensive, just the freaking bed. They're as expensive as like a really, I suppose, cheap holiday that you could get potentially, something along those lines. So for me, I'd go even more basic, because a national insurance number literally is it's like the America's equivalent of social security number, right? Have that. You are then open to be able to access the work here, NHS, benefits. That's it. Do you know what? She's the freaking bed. I've just had a light bulb moment. We already technically have digital IDs, national insurance number. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
Before we go further, Emily, because I'm really having a lot of fun chatting with you at the moment. Thank you so much again to Private Jose. Very, very generous super chat there. My goodness, mate. Thank you so much. Again, just for your trust and, investing in me and this channel. Thank you, mate. Saying, you're a good person. I respect you and your views. Lovely to hear such patriotic people standing up. Unite the Kingdom forever. Big up. Dude, were you at the Unite the Kingdom free speech rally? Just asking for a friend, but were you? Oh my goodness, that would have been so cool if you were. Big SM, thank you so much for the super chat saying UK will stop if a server goes down like the banks. Yeah. Because the thing is, right, we still have countries that do not like us and are trying to hack in and trying to commit digital warfare against us. I remember there was a this was last couple of years now, I read this. There was a digital warfare practice exercise with the UK and America, and they created this scenario, a practice run of if China or North Korea or whatever hacked us, do we have the defences to be able to push back and win? No, we don't. Shocker, right? Not. No, we don't. They'd absolutely annihilate us. So we're going to make it even easier for them and have all our information in one place with a digital ID system. It's actually better that all our information is fragmented across different systems for different things. It means that there's not one target, there's several. That's better. It's like you don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's kind of like the thing that's going on there in my mind. What do you think to that, Emily?
I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
Now, NDB_Unite the Kingdom says get rid of the European Court of Human Rights, including Article 8. Where do you stand on that, Emily?
I don't really know much about that, so I couldn't comment on that.
Okay. So, generally, the thought process goes that these illegal immigrants, we want to get rid. Whenever we try and eject them through the legal system, they then go around and say, oh, our human rights, our human rights, our human rights. Yeah? And they win because we are part of the European Court of Human Rights. And that's where they're getting their defence from. And so the theory goes, if we get out of the European Court of Human Rights, they can't argue that anymore. And that'll make it much more easier for us to get rid and do what needs to be done. Of course, you'll need to read up a little bit more about it, but how does that sound to you, just on the surface of it? If you don't know, that's cool as well.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think that would necessarily stop them, because they'll always blooming claim something. We need to put in a law. We need to set an actual law in place. Without a law, they'll just come up with rubbish after rubbish after rubbish as to why they can't be deported. We need to set in a precedent of a law for if people come into this into this country illegally, they get deported right back out again. Without a law, it's not going to stop.
This is the thing, though. We already do have immigration laws that should be enforced. Do you know why that's not happening? It's because I did a video on this the last couple of months. Because when I found out, I was like, shit the bed. When they come into this country, they're not classed as illegal immigrants. They're classed as arriving passengers. If the illegal immigrants call ahead of time to say they're coming over, they're classed as arriving passengers. If illegal immigrants come over and on the channel are picked up by border force and whatnot, they're classed as arriving passengers. If the illegal immigrants cross the channel without any assistance, come onto our shores, and then announce themselves to border force and authorities, they're classed as arriving passengers. Because this is a thing, right? And I've seen this all over Twitter and whatnot, yeah? Sorry, X. Still call it Twitter from time to time. Sorry, guys. Seen it on X?
Call it Twitter.
Why aren't the government enforcing the immigration laws, this, that and the other? We have our laws to stop this. Why aren't they doing this, that and the other? It's because they changed the goalposts, guys. The government isn't classing them as illegal immigrants. They are literally changing their legal status from illegal immigrants to arriving passengers. Which means then that the immigration law doesn't apply to them. That's how they're getting around it. And I think there was a point where, I think it was I'm going to have to remind myself with my notes here, but I think it was during the time when the Conservatives were in power, they tried to stop that loophole, and they didn't. They've got a loophole. That's why. Everyone banging on about, well, we've got immigration laws. Why ain't that being enforced? That's why. That's why.
Stop that damn loophole now.
You'd think,
Should
right?
never have been a loophole in the first place. If you come into this country without permission, you're an illegal immigrant. It should be that.
Yeah. Whether we help you across to get to our shores or whatever, it don't matter. You're an illegal immigrant because you've not gone through the official channels to get a proper visa to enter this country in the first place. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how they're getting around it. I've just re-put the call-in link back into the chat. I'll do it again a few more times. Anyone else wants to call in, please do so. I did see someone in the green room. I was just about to let you in, but then you went. If you want to call back in, please do so. Private Jose says, Starmer wanted these illegals just to push this through. He wanted to see our reaction to it and got one. So he pushed this through to think we will believe him and think he can save us. It's all orchestrated. Do you agree with that, Emily?
I have no idea. Sounds slightly conspiratorial, but anything is possible with Starmer. He's the worst prime minister we've ever had.
Agreed.
In my opinion.
Agreed.
I'm 36 and I've never hated a prime minister as much as I hate him.
Fair play. Another one from Private Jose. My goodness, my friend. Everyone, hearts in the chat right now for Private Jose because he is doing some proper investment into this channel and community at the moment. Saying, hell yeah, I was there, never backed down, travelled 6 hours with mates. Fair play, mate. Fair play. Charlie Waffes Tenise says, passport, national insurance number card, driver's license, we already have it covered. Yeah, we do.
Yeah. They just want to put it all in one place so that they can control everything we do.
And I'm not for that. Are you guys for it? Oh, Lewis, can I call in 10 minutes? If I'm still live, yeah? Yeah, I'll try and wait for the 10 minutes. That's fine. Fight for the Week says, if we leave the European Court of Human Rights, what would we be left with? What would our new rights be? This is the thing, right? Our laws and our legal system reflects a lot of what the European Court of Human Rights already says and does. And that was during our time when we were in the European Union. The European Court of Human Rights, when it was first set up, was fit for purpose. It was right to set it up. It made sense for it to be set up as far as I'm concerned and, you know, my knowledge and my research into it. The thing is, though, over time, the world has changed. And the European Court of Human Rights now, as far as I'm concerned, is being taken advantage of and is being utilised in a way that it was never intended to be like this in the first place. European Court of Human Rights ruling that we are forced to have literally murderers, rapists, monsters of the evilest kind still here in this country, rather than us, by rights, shipping them off back home. Where's our human rights in all this? Where's our human right to safety? Where's our human right to life? Where's our human right to be able to walk down a road and not get freaking sexually assaulted by one of these monsters? I mean, come on.
Should be British people first.
Yeah. You say that, though, you called far right. What's your response to that, Emily?
Up theirs.
A proper British response. I love it. You don't have to tell me exactly where you're from, but are you a northerner?
No, I live in Somerset, and I used to live in Hertfordshire.
Okay, right. That's where I'm getting a little bit of the northernness from. I
was born in Liverpool, but I haven't been there since I was a toddler.
Okay. Fair enough. I I kind of sniffed a little bit of northernness from you. I'm like, hey, fellow northern lass. Yeah, you can still be a fellow northern lass. That's fine by me. Private Jose B32 says, protest in Liverpool on Sunday at the Labour conference. Starmer hates Liverpool. Private Jose, can you email me the details? If you've got any details about that, can you email me, stephthealternerd@gmail.com? Can't promise anything, but if there's a protest in Liverpool at the Labour conference, I might be able to make my way there. Speaking of Liverpool, Emily, I might be able to make it there.
I'd heard of that. I think I'd heard of that the other day.
Okay. Dawn Robinson, thank you so much for your generous super chat saying totally agree and shared petition all over the place. Being from North Wales, Labour has shafted us for too long. Yeah. But this is the thing, right? The Conservatives, even though they are on the right side here, completely opposing digital ID, even though Kemi Badenoch, she initially says there are arguments for and against it. Oh, she got absolutely trolled for that one. The Conservatives are just as much to blame for where we are now as Labour. Because let's not forget, before Labour came into power, those bastards were at number 10, 14, 15 years. So for them to try and blame everything on Labour, I think is completely disingenuous. For me, it's like, get all the mainstream parties out, goodbye to a lot of them, and let's get a new party in. Whether you vote Advance UK, Reform, whatever. We need to get some new blood in. What do you think, Emily, to that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, my mum used to and dad used to say this of all the current people in Parliament, they're just spoilt brats who all went to the same school.
Yeah.
They're all, go to Eton and Harrow. They're all mates with each other. They're all rich people who have absolutely no sense about how the people actually live. And I've heard so many people also say to me, so I've said it to a few people, of they probably wouldn't last a month living in the shoes of the working class.
It's true. It's true. Because the thing is, right, yeah, they literally, they wouldn't last in the shoes of the working class because they literally have a system where they're able to live the royal life where everyone else we're damned. And I say that in terms of, look at what they put through the expenses still. You think the expenses saga is over? Not a chance. Not a chance in hell.
Oh, definitely.
They're all corrupt. I mean, Angela Rayner, hello.
Why are they still being given money to furnish a second home? I mean, look, I get some of them might need expenses if they're living up in Scotland and they got to come down for a week. Okay, stick them in an Airbnb or in a hotel for that week that they've got or the day they've got to come down for. But a second house in London, and then money to furnish the house. They want a second house. Rent it themselves. They want furniture for those houses. Go to a charity shop and get your own furniture. Why should our taxes be paying for them to have luxury blooming furnishings in houses?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Why should we pay to feed them? I mean, I don't get paid by my work when I go to work, so why should they get paid for whatever meals they want? It's ridiculous. And how can these people who know nothing about the working class have the nerve to run the country? We need more people from the working class to actually run this country.
check this out. Firstly, Private Jose, have to shoot off now. Big up, everyone. Much love. Much love to you as well, Private Jose. Thank you so, so much. Hope to see you around, mate. Thank you for all your support. It's outrageously generous. Thank you so much, mate. But check this out, right? What you said brought me to mind this little tidbit that I read earlier on, which is, let me ask you a question. You might already know this. Those in the live chat, okay, I'm going to ask you guys as well. So let me know. Who do you think is the highest paid politician in the UK?
No idea.
If you could hazard a guess. Who's the first person that comes to mind?
Someone in Conservative Party.
Interesting. It's not. It's someone in the Labour Party. So narrowing that down, does a name come to mind?
No, because I'm not very good with names, unfortunately.
No, that's absolutely fine. Me neither, really, in the grand scheme of things. But JT Smith 101 says Home Secretary. Euphaloof, I love that name, says the Chancellor. Kate Mariner, Starmer. Sarah B, Farage or Starmer. Lady Fury says Rachel Thieves. A lot of you guys are actually guessing it right. It's Sadiq Khan. Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, is the highest paid politician in this country. This year, he accepted over £5,000 annual pay rise. His total pay now is £170,282 per year. On top of the expenses that he'll put through.
Disgusting.
And look at the state of London and what's been going on there. And he has the cheek not only to accept a £5,000 pay rise, but also be the highest paid politician in this land. He's paid more than the Prime Minister. He's paid more than the Prime Minister.
Disgraceful.
That's insane. Now, for me, I would say that if I could vote in the mayoral London elections, I would vote for Ant Middleton. Would you do the same, Emily, or would you vote for someone else, or do you not know? Are you undecided in that scenario?
I'm undecided. Part of me wants to just vote for reform, not because of who's running it, because, well, a lot of people think he's a bit of an ass, but I mean, but he has promised to things like turn over the so-called Online Safety Act, which I think is a total piece of garbage, not fit for purpose.
Yeah.
Because, well, yeah, I won't get onto that, but I've got an awful lot of dreadful things to say about that, which I think is also a data breach in the waiting.
Fair enough. Well, on that bombshell, Emily, I've got another guest coming in a moment. So do you have any final words before I let you go?
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on and keeping me company and being the first ever live caller here on For Local Nerds. Appreciate your face. Thank you so much for your support, hon. And I'll see you around.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, so thank you so much to Emily for calling in. Yes, I do have another guest calling in right now, and this is going to be a fun one. It is none other than one of my big brothers in America, Lewis from Nerd Report. Hey up, dude.
Oopsie, I cannot hear you.
What do you mean you can't hear me?
What's going on here, girl? It's my fault, 100%. Here, this is my first time on ever, so I'm gonna have to. You look great. I love your smile, but that's all I see here.
Thank you.
Hold on a second. Let me see the audio setting real
I can
quick.
hear you.
I
can hear you.
Here we go. I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hey! All right, Lewis from Nerd Report, my favourite. Why can't we see your glorious face right now? What the hell's going on?
I'm in Studio B, which is there's no camera here working right now.
Okay.
And I wanted to call in. I hope it's okay with you.
Dude, of course it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing what you're doing here in this channel. I don't feel right having an opinion on what's going on over there because I'm not from over there. But I do see a lot of pain coming out of the UK and everything. And to me, like, you all are like our relatives, our brothers and sisters. Every time through history when there's battle or war, the UK has been to our side and everything. And a lot of the stuff I am hearing parallels what the United States is going through. And as a I'm a child of legal migrants who love their country of origin, of course, Cuba, of course, but it was always with them, number one, the United States, and assimilating to that culture and respecting the people of that culture, loving that culture first. And I'm seeing that maybe a lot of migrants that are going to the UK are not doing that. You got to love the place you're going to, or at least give an effort, or if not, just, don't come from your country to make the new country into your old country, you know? And that's a thing as a migrant, as being a Hispanic guy or Latino, which I am. A lot of people will say, well, you're a sellout because you want legal immigration. It's like, well, there's a few things. If you have illegal immigration, our people are subjects to being abused. Slave labor, labor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything, and you put them in danger all because you want cheaper groceries. Nah, I'll pay more to see people not being slaves, right? And the other thing is that a lot of people are coming to our great country with the intention of making our great country the country that they ran from, electing politicians like what they had over there, like Bernie Sanders, who's garbage, in my opinion, AOC, garbage. And so we just got to watch that. And now they're shooting at us. Sorry, I said that.
No, it's fine. Go for it. Yeah, it's cool. Don't worry about it, mate.
We're having an opinion, and a lot of us are scared. A lot of people that think different, we're terrified. And Steph, you know me for a long time.
Known you for years, mate.
Yeah, and I felt a certain way about politics, but I've always been scared to express it because I've always known that the party of peace is the one that is not, in my opinion. And I see that the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. When I see people on social media waking up at 5 a.m. saying they want to fight Yahtzees, they hate fascists, this and that, I unfriend them because I feel like they are the ones that are that. And they're projecting, and it's also an excuse to assault you. And I don't know if is that happening in your country as well?
Oh my goodness. Right. Right. Okay. So, I did a video, I think it was yesterday. There was a gentleman, a protester, who went to London and outside, and I believe it was the Turkish consulate, protested by burning a copy of the Quran. What happened was there was another gentleman of Muslim origin, saw this. He went into his house. He came out with a knife and proceeded to attack the protester with a knife. He got him on the floor. He started kicking him and doing him in. He just had his court, right? His trial. He's got no jail time at all.
Oh boy.
Because his defense was, I was just protecting my religion. I was just protecting my religion. That was it. I was just protecting my religion. I'm sorry, but they say that Islam is a religion of peace, this, that, and the other. Yeah, that doesn't track with me when you criticize said religion or in protest burn their book. You don't get peace back. You don't. You don't get that Christian, turn the other cheek noise. No. You get knifed, you get kicked on, you get spat at, the whole freaking kit and caboodle. I could, in the middle of my city, or in the middle of the village that I live in, right, go with the St. James's or Christian Bible, whichever denomination, right, burn it, no one's going to bat an eyelid, right? Why is it different with Islam? Why is Islam demanding that we treat them special in a country that everyone is supposed to be equal, regardless of your religion, this, that, and the other? They have a right to be offended, but then that does not then extend their rights to then physically attack us and try and essentially murder us with knives and whatnot. Do you see where I'm coming from there, mate? And
no, absolutely. Absolutely. And I have met, my former boxing coach was from Islamic, Egyptian guy. And he was the sweetest guy. And I'm sure he would not stand for what you just told me. And I think in a way, since we're content creators, I barely do politics now because I don't want to get shot. But the thing is, I think it's important to also look for those that denounce that and elevate their voice, because I feel like there's got to be people that do not agree with that way of thinking, that if they burn the Quran or whatever, that it's all right to hurt someone else. And
if you find those people, let me know. Because that's part of the problem. If you find those people, let me know. The only person I found that's been brave enough from that community to speak out is a YouTuber called Candid with Lubna. And she actually made her name on the Apprentice UK version in the last couple of years. She's speaking out against it from that community, from the Muslim community. But the rest of them, sorry, a lot of them are silent as far as I'm concerned.
A lot of us are scared. I'm not Muslim, but I do believe that's not a representative of the religion. I just feel I'm like Superman. I feel like that character always tries to look for the good. There's good people in everywhere, in a way. No matter what, I think evil is loud and good is quiet. So a lot of the time,
I agree. It's not representative, right?
Yes.
The problem is this: when an extremist faction from the Christian community come out and create a terrorist attack. So, oh my goodness, the bombing in the I think it was the late 90s in America.
That was in
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Tim. I don't. Oh my. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. What happened?
The building went down.
Correct.
The building went down.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened? It was condemned, right? Christian community everywhere, right?
Correct.
When an Islamic terrorist attack happens, where is their side condemning it? When that gentleman that I just described to you came out to attack that protester with a knife.
Not a gentleman, by the way.
I'm trying to be, the better person in that regard. Do you see where I'm coming from? Came out with a knife to attack that protester, right? Mm-hmm. Where was the condemnation then? For me, silence can mean complicity.
It's also fear, though.
Could also be fear. Correct. I get that.
We have families. For example, I have a lot of your chat's probably going to turn against me right now, but unfortunately, with the I don't know if you saw the young girl that got ended with a knife in a
yes,
train.
Yeah. We all saw that. Horrific.
It was awful, and here's going to be a weird explanation, Steph. There were a lot of people filming and not doing anything, and that happens a lot. And my response is they did the right thing, because a lot of people in America that are stepping up against evil are going to jail, and we are going to jail for stepping up. to save good
That's
people.
what's
Now,
happening to us. So,
right.
For hurty words on the internet, we're being sent to jail. It's like, hang on a minute, we've got our human right to free expression, our human right for freedom of speech. But even that's being clamped down at the moment. The thing is, though, is that if enough of us speak out against this tyranny, they're done for. They can't arrest us all. They can't silence us all. Do you know what I mean? It's like that end scene from V for Vendetta, where they all come up in the mask and they all just essentially walk past the blockade that the government
you mean
put up.
January 6th? Oh, no, you're talking about V for Vendetta.
I'm talking about V for Vendetta, yeah. So I know that might... this is going to be a bit of an inside joke. I know that might be a little bit of a sore point for you, mate, okay? Bringing up V for Vendetta, you mob.
I love that movie. I love that movie. It's one of the best DCs. It's one of the best comic book films.
It is.
And it's very parallel to a lot of things that are going on. And I'm sure the Wachowski sisters do not agree, but they made two very right-wing films. One is The Matrix, take the blue or the red pill.
Yeah.
And then the other one is V for Vendetta, where there's the mask represent a certain red hat, in my opinion. Here, and it's not Steph's opinion, but I know Steph would it hurts me to see this. I have friends in Canada that have spoken to me, and this is happening over there as well.
Yeah.
It's happening, and they're much smaller. They're the size of California as far as population is concerned. And they've also spoken to me that a lot of foreigners are not cool with that. They're saying, we came here to become Canadian. And
this is the thing, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me be very clear on this. Anyone of any religion, of any race, from any country, wants to come in legally, right?
Yeah.
Through the proper channels, and they want to integrate into our society, integrate to our rules, our social constructs, the way that we live. Do you know what? Crack on. And they want to contribute by working instead of draining the system with benefits. Fine. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of immigration I'm for, right? The problem is that when they're coming in and they're not integrating, they could barely speak a word of English, even like 5-6 years later. That's why I did a tweet about a month ago or something. You're not speaking English in this country. What the f are you doing here? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not integrating. They're not contributing. They're draining the system. The last poll I saw, 45% of those polled want Sharia law in the UK. We are now considered the Western capital of the world for Sharia courts because we've got over 85 of them here. Hang on a minute. You live in the UK. You've got an issue when it comes to the legal sense of family, money, divorce, property, whatever. You go to our own legal system. You don't create a parallel one in our country. It's like me going to Saudi Arabia, getting the right to remain there, becoming a citizen, this, that, and the other, and then turning around and saying, Sharia courts do not abide by my religion, my belief system, this, that, and the other. So I demand that there is a parallel one. They're not going to do it. They're going to laugh in my face and tell me to piss off. Quite rightly so. That's their country. They determine the law of the land. Right? But that's not what's happening here in the UK, mate.
I see it.
Exactly. They don't speak English, a lot of them. They fail to integrate. They don't pay into the system. They claim benefits. They then go to Sharia courts instead of our own legal system. And now they want to turn. This is the perception that a lot of us have got, right? A lot of them, right? They say, yeah, we're running away from these countries because it's not safe. For whatever reason. Okay, right. Yes. Firstly, Katie Hopkins has got a really good point. Why aren't they going to a fellow Muslim country that's safer for them? That's much more appropriate for their belief system, for their society, for their social construct, this, that, and the other. Secondly, Why are they turning to the UK and coming here and then try and turn the UK into the country that they left from?
That's a problem here too. And again, there's nothing wrong with loving your nation of origin.
No.
I'm not born from Cuba, but I love the food. I love Portos. We love that.
Yes, we love Portos. Yes. Oh my goodness, I'm coming back. Watch this space. I'm coming back. First thing, you need to take me to Portos. As soon as I get to LAX, I have to go to Portos.
The only problem is if you go to Portos, those massive biceps and cut definition arms that I see you have now are probably going to disappear within a couple days.
Oh, that's fine. That is the price I am willing to pay for that for that Portos pie. She's the freaking bed. Oh my goodness. I remember that moment. Hang on a minute. Big SM says, sorry, Lewis, but why didn't they give first aid? That was his comment.
You mean help
for what you were saying earlier
young lady?
on. Yeah.
Let me explain it a little bit more. It's easy to say. And listen, I would have probably helped, but here's the problem. The last time and a few times people have tried to be good Samaritans, they try to throw them in jail for life because the person they try to sustain or stop from committing a crime got hurt during the process. So people are getting assaulted. Good Samaritan comes in, tries to stop that person. That person, the assaulter, gets hurt. The Good Samaritan has to go to trial, is called a racist, called all names. And if you are a family person, that you have to think about it. It's very easy to say on the internet, I would have jumped in. For all you know, that guy would have stabbed him too. What if the Good Samaritan has a kid, has a wife to attend to? And then at the end of the day, the justice system, just like it's going on in England, it looks like, lets the person out free the next day.
Yeah, so it's completely the same here, mate. If someone broke into my house now, right?
Yeah.
I should have every right to defend myself and my property. I can't. The moment I do that, the moment I either use my fists or take a weapon to defend myself and my property, I'm the one that gets done. The burglar, the would-be attacker, gets away scot-free. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. But he gets away scot-free, and then I'm the one that gets done for it. It's absolutely backwards here. But let's go back to Portos because, oh my goodness, that seriously, like, I just remembered like a memory. I was with you guys like 2 years ago now in LA. That's insane to think. Anywho, I remember the first time I ever had a Portos, right? And it was that pie. And I took one bite. I like this, one bite. And I like this.
That's exactly how you looked. No, well, listen. Let me explain this. Steph's got a particular taste. You know, she's what you see on the air is what you get in real life. A little bit more picky with the food. So I brought Portos, and it's like they had meat. I guess it was meat pies. So I gave her one, and I'm like, she's probably not gonna like this, right? So she grabs it, looks at it, and then takes a little bite, and just like she looked at her, she goes, I guess we're having Portos every day now.
Yeah. And that's literally what happened every day. Every day I had to have a Portos.
Yeah.
It's sacrilege that we don't have it in the UK. But yeah, let's get on to the main topic for the Red Alert broadcast, because this is all about digital IDs. Do you know anything about them?
I'll stay for a little bit with that. I'll stay for a little bit because I don't want to mess up your show. I just wanted to call in, but what is that digital ID thing real quick, and then I'll watch from my sofa eating lunch because
the basics of digital ID in terms of what Starmer's proposing is that all information is on one system, and this ID essentially is to unlock everything that you can get in the UK. You can only work if you've got a digital ID. You can only access the NHS if you've got a digital ID. You can only do this if you've got a digital ID. You can only do that if you've got a digital ID. The problem with digital ID is that it provides the way in for the government to assume authoritarian control over our lives. So with what's going on in China with the social score credit system and all that lot, that would be easily implemented into this country as well. It's a very big slippery slope that no one wants to be on across a whole political divide. even politicians I'm diametrically opposed to are turning around and saying no to digital ID. So that's one thing that we can say for Starmer. He's been able to achieve, like, the rarity of everyone coming together, regardless of whether we agree with them or not, and we're all saying the same thing. No to digital IDs.
That's a red flag. Anytime you give the government more power, it's not good. These people, like your guest said earlier, I don't know if she was talking about politicians, but
Emily, yeah.
they don't know how the rest of the world is. These are like used car salesmen. They just want power. They want to stay there very long. They're not in touch with the regular people. They're in gated communities, you know, and stuff. They don't know what the regular person feels from a day-to-day basis. They just want to get reelected and make the money off the taxpayers, at least in America. And the less power they have, the less power you give them, the better. But that sounds like it's bad. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna step back and watch your show.
Thank you, hon. Appreciate you. I've got someone else to call in. Neil, it looks like, is next. So, Lewis, thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate you, mate. Say hi to Mrs. Lecker for me.
Will do. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you later, mate. Bye. All right, so that was my big brother, Lewis, from Nerd Report. Do make sure you subscribe to him on his channel right now. It's there on screen. Get it done, guys. Support me, mates. And he's not technically like family, but I call him like my big brother because he pretty much is. With that being said, yes, let's get the next caller in. This is probably actually going to be the last caller for the live stream. It's past 9 o'clock now, and I need to make my tea. I need to have some fodder. But yeah, we've got Neil. Hey up, Neil. Thank you so much for calling in. Welcome to the show. How are you doing, mate? I can't hear you. Your mic's on mute, mate, on Zoom.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Hey up, Neil. Yeah. Welcome. How you doing, mate?
Hi, Steph. Very big admirer of you. I'm a bit nervous because I suffer a lot of mental health and severe anxiety. But I just wanted to actually come on.
Your mic's on mute, mate, on Zoom. No, I can hear you. Neil, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah. I suffer from mental health as well, honey, so don't worry about it. You're doing fine.
So this one, just let me turn down my telly, sorry. With this Online Safety Act,
yes,
and the digital ID,
yeah,
I feel it's an infringement of personal information, which the government want. And I do feel with this black hole that they've created themselves, is there a chance that they can actually sell on your data to cover this black hole that they've actually created themselves? Because they've run out of areas where they can actually tax more now.
Anything's possible. That is definitely a good question and a good perspective that I hadn't actually thought of before. Let's put it this way, right? The politicians are the lawmakers. They're the ones that actually write the law that then comes into power for everyone else to follow, right? So they could put it in the fine print. They could put it in the fine print of, okay, so here are the scenarios where we could share this information with other agencies or other countries, this, that, and the other. And sharing could mean just sharing or selling it on or whatever. Anything's possible with these bastards, really, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. But you bring up a really good point.
I mean, so I'm so angry. I mean, say I suffer PTSD as well because I'm ex-services. I was in the RAF regiment back in the 90s, etc.
Thank you for your service, mate.
I've got a history of my my family. And say my nan, she was an ACAT gunner girl shooting down the German planes in Richmond. My granddad was a desert rat. His father got a DSM, minesweeping in World War I. You know, and I think it's an absolute disgrace the way that this country's going. And, you know, the way that these lefties are coming out as well. I think that they're being polluted by the immigrants, what we are bringing in from other countries, which are sort of like polluting their brains, so to speak, with their ideology, what they're bringing in, and not keeping it to the British standards that our forefathers, etc., created for us. And I worry about my sort of children and my grandchildren, their future as well, you know?
What did you think about my conversation with Lewis before you came on? What were your thoughts?
Very good. Yeah. You know, I mean, you say I've got so much I'd like to say to you as well, because like with regards to like two-tier policing, you know, when you've got Lucy Connolly, what had that time that she had, and you've got recently, you've got the illegal from Epping, which only got 12 months, and he was only put in front of a magistrate's court simply because a magistrate's court can only give a 12-month sentence maximum.
Yeah.
It's an absolute disgrace, you know?
It's a disgrace as well, if we're going to talk about that. With, you know, that
with
case from earlier on this week where the Muslim knife attacker who attacked that protester burning the Quran.
Well. Yeah,
you know,
completely.
Let's put it this way. If it was, right, a gentleman of Muslim origin going in the centre of whatever city, village, town or whatever, burning the Christian Bible, and a British white man went in, came out with a knife and started attacking him same way,
yeah,
do you think that British white man would be walking free right now after a trial?
They'd be arrested instantly. And I would like to say one thing, which I'd like to bring up as well.
Please, go for it, Neil.
Two-tier policing, is that I'm currently in a two-bed property, which is housing association, and I've been trying to downgrade because I'm struggling with my benefits. I can't even get PIP, even though I've got many other health issues. And I sent an email to the local council, Somerset Council, and basically said, you know, what's going on. And then towards the end of it, I put, oh, but it'd be different because you've changed your policies now, stating homeless are a priority. I said that obviously states for immigrants that have been given British citizenship, then they can just walk into the council and say, I'm homeless, and their priority over me was paid into the tax system for 35 years plus.
Yeah.
And I had a visit by the police 4 days later. And then I had another return by the police with a social media operator or operative with the police. And I let them in, and he asked me whether I was being radicalized by that email. Now, I know an ex-sergeant who's a family friend who said that they do tend to prey on people with mental health. So I basically have escalated things and put a harassment charge in against them. So I'm waiting to hear back now.
Good.
Because I've been with a mental health team for about 15 years now. You know, and I think I just wanted to bring that up because just in case there's other people out there what are in my situation, what feel victimized, and they can do something about it because this needs to be stamped out.
It does. It does. Just because we say hurty words on the internet, it's like all of a sudden police going to knock on our door and potentially we're going to end up in jail for it. No.
Well, this was from
no.
This was an email to the council. I mean, so I don't do X. The only thing I do on social media is YouTube, and that's it. I took myself off of Facebook, all the rest of the platforms, because with my mental health, I say things and I've not got no filter. Which if I was on these other sites, I would probably be in prison now. That's a worrying factor, I feel.
Definitely. Is there anything else you want to add or you want to say before you go, Neil?
No, that's it. But thank you ever so much for bringing on, Steph. And
no, you're
keep
welcome.
Up with your work, bless you.
Thank you, and thank you for your support. You take care, all right, mate?
And you too.
Take care.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh, thanks to Neil for calling in as well. Thank you so much to Dodge This for the wonderful super chat saying if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. And my goodness, thank you so much for another super chat dodge this. Very generous of you, saying, wouldn't even open the topic on whether government has money to protect data or whatever. We're talking about the ducks that didn't know you could use a VPN to access their restricted sites, LOL. I know, right? Oh my goodness. And then they turn around. Once like everyone scrambles to get a VPN, right? And the Labour dictatorship find out that, yeah, people are getting around the Online Act by doing it kind of situation, right? So then, like, they're basically begging you, don't use VPNs. Don't use VPNs. You shitting me. Oh, my goodness. Wow, did I just say... Hey, Wancho is in the chat. Hey, up, Wancho. How's it going, mate? Message me from the last conversation we had last month when I was giving you, like, the proper download of what's going on in the UK. Or what have you found out since? I've always been a little bit curious to find out what you've seen since our conversation. Fuzzy Felt 77, my goodness, wow. Highly generous of you, mate. Thank you so much for that £50 super chat, saying towards the pro camera and the future tech fund. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. As I say, I'm always very transparent with everything, including super chats. And to let you guys know, any super chats is an investment into this channel, into future equipment for this channel and the studio, future vlogging equipment. Something that I'm thinking of getting next, actually, just to let you guys know, is... apologies. Wow, that went a little bit skewy. I'm actually thinking about investing in a drone so that when I'm at these protests and events, I've got the camera with me and the mic and everything, but I can give you guys a different perspective with the drone as well, in terms of what's going on from above and the amount of people that are there, this, that, and the other. So, yeah, I'm kind of considering maybe the drone might be next for the vlogging side of things when I'm out and about for you guys. So, yeah, let me know if that's something you think I should get. Let me know. But my goodness, Fuzzy Felt 77, thank you so, so much for your wonderful generosity there. Let's see what else you guys are saying before I end today's live stream. Thank you so much to everyone that's called in. Apologies that the rest of you unfortunately weren't able to get in. I've been streaming now for over 2 hours. It's past 9 o'clock here in the evening. I need to make my tea and go to bed, guys. But let's see what else you guys are saying before we finish today's live stream. And if anyone wants to send a last minute super chat to help reinvest back into the channel and the studio, then please let me know. Of course, another side note, this is my full-time job, so it does help pay the bills as well. Just to let you know, guys. Shaz, I'm sitting here eating coconut chicken. Nice. I'm thinking of making burgers and chips. I'm really thinking of making burgers and chips. I really do. Let's see. What else you guys are saying? Knights Who Say NI says, the sell-on of personal data won't fill in the financial hole Labour have created. Labour have created it, but Conservatives have as well. Again, let's not forget, before Labour came into power over a year ago, the Conservatives were running the show for 14, 15 years. They're just as much to blame for where we are now. It's just Labour in the last year have literally supersonic speeded our country into the literal gates of freaking hell at this point. We're there. And we need to fight back. Peacefully, democratically. One of the ways we can do that when it comes to this digital ID nonsense is to sign the petition. If you are against digital ID, sign the petition now. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is pinned right at the top of the live chat. If you're watching on X, the link is in the live chat there. Sign it. If it means that you are taken away from this live stream, so be it. That petition is more important than this live stream right now. It is, in the grand scheme of things, right? Priorities here. Sign the petition. My goodness, since we started live. Whoa! Over 123,000 signatures have been added to the petition since we've been live. And that was just over 2 hours ago. Wow. I'm not claiming that. Let me be very clear on this. I am not claiming that. I'm not claiming that that's because of me. I'm really, really not. I'm just saying, just as an observation, okay, that the momentum is speeding up and up and up on this one, right? So add your voice to this legal democratic fight and sign the petition now. Not tomorrow, not later on, not, oh, I'll do it in 5 minutes or I'll do it in 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. No. Sign it now. Oh, and then afterwards share the absolute fuck out of it. Let's see. What else you guys saying? Emily says, I have epilepsy and autism. Okay. I have autism. I always knew I was autistic, but it was like, what, a couple of months ago, I got my official diagnosis. So, yeah, I'm autistic too. Yay! I am part of the neurodiverse community. I'm just part of the human race, guys. I think last time I checked, anyway. Shaz says, be careful, Steph. You might need a license for a drone. So, yeah, I'm reading up on that. In certain areas, in certain scenarios you do it, in others you don't. And it depends on the drone, the size, and the capability of it, and a shiz ton of other things. So, yeah. There is that. Of course, you can't fly drones near airports and all that malarkey. Do you know what I mean? Let's see what else you guys are saying. Craig Lucas says, I love that top, Steph. Yeah? Well, let me just double check. It should be on my phone by now. You know why I'm wearing this top? Because Mr. Fox and I, we love cycling. We love cycling. I've got a few bikes, and Fitness Nerds is happening. It is on its way, so stay tuned. And Mr. Fox will be a part of that, so stay tuned even more. But we rode for about just over 2 hours on our bikes in the Yorkshire Dales, and I covered nearly 37 kilometres. So that's why I'm wearing this top. It's a cycling jersey. And literally, when I came into the house after the bike ride, I came upstairs, came into the studio, set it all up, and then went live. I haven't had a chance to, like, have my tea, have a shower, or anything. I literally ran into the house, came upstairs, but turned the computer on. Here I am. So yeah, it's from Endura. I wear a lot of their stuff, Endura. I do like them. So yeah, there we go. Cool. Looking forward to Fitness Nerds. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate you. NDB UK says mountain bike or racing bike? Kind of in between. Well, the one I rode today was a cross bike. I do have a roadie. I also have an e-bike as well, for when I go shopping. It's got the panniers on and everything. It's pretty cute. But yeah, it was the cross bike, that I rode today, which I wanted to ride. So yeah, kind of in the middle. It wasn't a mountain bike. It wasn't a racing bike. It was a little bit in the middle. It was a cross bike. There we go. Shaz says, enjoy your burgers and chips, then a shower, LOL. And Equinox says, Fitness Nerds don't do burgers. Fitness Nerds do these burgers. Now, I'm not getting paid or sponsored by them, but Slimming World have their own range of food in Iceland that on their program is completely healthy. And they have their own version of burgers and they taste really, really nice. So they're the burgers that I use and they're proper healthy and everything, right? So yeah, see? I know a few things. I know a few things. Don't worry. These are healthy burgers, all right? So fitness nerds do these burgers. Slimming World burgers. They definitely do them. That's for sure. With that being said, damn, all this talk about burgers and chips, I'm buggering off. I'm having me burger and chips. So with that being said, big massive thank you to everyone that's tuned in today's live stream. Thank you so much to everyone that signed the petition, shared the petition. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you to everyone that's liked this stream. I appreciate your face. Thank you to everyone that's kept me company in the live chat and has interacted. You guys are awesome. Special major thanks to everyone that's been able to send a super chat my way to reinvest back into the channel, back in this studio. I appreciate you guys. And thank you so much to everyone that's subscribed to this channel here on Fitness Nerds. If you're watching on X, thank you so much to everyone that's hit that follow button at Steph Alternerd for more content for the future. Stay tuned. But yeah, that is it. I'm buggering off. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, wherever you guys in the world. And until the next time, you guys, laters.